Hello and welcome Draft League fans. Today we have week 1 of the BBR. Yes, I'm doing a Wi-Fi league, believe it or not. And my opponent is A12, who not too long ago I called the GOAT, better than everyone else, a bunch of other things, all positive. I reviewed his DFL performance where he went undefeated, so I mean, I gotta glaze my boy. But here we have to face him, you know, it is what it is. So this is the team that I constructed, and you see the matchup on the screen, of course. So he has a very silly team. It's triple grass, triple water, triple poison, and while this is very funny, it does obviously leave a lot of holes defensively. Number one being the Scizor. Now, if you look at the Scizor set, pretty much max HP, max attack, nothing too crazy here. I'm leftovers, but this is going to be my main win condition of this build. So Sword Stance, Offensive Bullet Punch, Knockoff, Dual Wing Beat, kind of hits everything except for maybe like a Lantern, but I really found Lantern to be a hard sell in terms of like actually bringing it in this matchup. There's a lot of things that you actually want here. You're always going to bring the Masquerada, always going to bring the Ogerpon, the Gholdengo, the Lando. Those four are basically a lock. And then I figured it's probably going to be something like the Toxapex to try to contain my Keldeo, as well as, like, you know, my Hydreigon can't do too much to it. Threaten Toxic, you know, Spadef also walls Terapagos to some degree. So it's like a pretty difficult wall for me to break. And then in that last 6th slot, in Mox I saw a bunch of like Cyclizar, Monkey Dory, even a Sneasel Hisui, which that was the scariest one, I will admit. But I figured it would be those kinds of Pokemon that are coming, and Scizor kind of destroys all of them. The cool thing about Toxapex versus Scizor this gen is that Dual Wing Beat is a nuke with Technician, but it's also it's effectively 120 base power. Flying move, so it is able to completely shred through Spadef Toxapex, and if you're bringing Toxapex, it really has to be Spadef in this matchup. Fizdef just doesn't get the job done into stuff like, you know, for example, a Terrablast Keldeo, which I do actually have on the team. But anyways, I'm looking to find SD opportunities on stuff like a -1 Gholdengo after I Make It Rain, maybe a Toxapex, maybe a Comfy, if that comes, maybe a Monkey Dory, stuff like that, or like a Scarf Masquerada locked into something that I can set up on. There's also a really cool interaction with my Vileplume set, which I'll get into right now, actually. So this is Max Defense, Sunny Day, Weather Ball. Now, what is this for? So obviously I wanted max defense with heavy duty boots. This is my Ogerpon Wellspring switch-in. Because, I mean, I mentioned it in the draft analysis, if you actually pay attention to the words. My team's pretty weak to Wellspring outside of Vileplume. And so week 1, obviously I pull the Ogerpon, and I'm like, okay, I'll just bring the Vileplume, all good. It's also really nice for the Comfy. It's like a pretty easy switch into Toxapex. Like, we both kind of do nothing to each other, but honestly, that's perfectly fine with me. I can set the Sunny Day. And what that allows me to do is go into my Scizor with the Sun up. I know what you're thinking. Sun with Scizor? Doesn't that mean you extra die to fire moves? Well, in this case, he has triple water. So it's basically giving my Scizor a water resist, which is really, really helpful in this game. Like, for example, if I can Sunny Day, Toxapex Surfs are like literally not breaking through my lefties, you know? Stuff like the Ogerpon Ivy Cudgel, not able to even revenge kill me because it's doing half damage. It's like 40%. So, and that being his sturdiest Bullet Punch resist really allows my Scizor to find some really nice endgame positions. That came up in mocks a number of times, and I was very happy to see that. But also, Sunny Day Weather Ball. This is basically just for Gholdengo because there's nothing else I can do with Vileplume against Gholdengo. Like, the move pool is not that vast. There's no Earth Power or anything like that. It's this or nothing. And I figured with just Giga Drain and Sunny Day, I mean, with Synthesis also, like, it boosts the Synthesis recovery, although that doesn't really make too much of a difference. It's just a nice add-on. I figure with Mono Giga Drain, I can do most of my job anyways. The only thing that I'm really missing out on is Sludge Bomb to kind of like nuke a Meowscarada switch in, but Meowscarada switching into Vileplume, that doesn't sound right. So, you know, really not going to be too big of an issue. Maybe for the comfy, you know, you'd rather have Sludge Bomb, but this set worked out pretty well because getting a big Weather Ball chip on Gholdengo early game, if that was like the initial pivot, that really puts it in range of like a +2 Bullet Punch quite easily. And judging that my game plan is all around the Scizor, that was definitely worth a trade, you know? Okay, I know you see the double Scarf Rocks here, right? I have Scarf Lando T with Stealth Rocks, and I have Scarf Hydreigon with Stealth Rocks. What's the idea here? Well, Scarf Stealth Rocks is maybe not the most reliable thing in the whole world, so I figured between the two of them, I'll probably find a free turn at some point to set up Rocks, and Rocks are really important here to set up my Scizor calcs, because +2 Bullet Punch versus Lando dies after Rocks. Ogerpon, I mean, Bullet Punch is like roughly a 2-hit KO after Rocks. If after 2 hazards, like 2 switch-ins, then it's definitely in range of 2 Bullet Punch. I don't even have to risk anything like a dual Wing Beat missing. I mean, knock into Bullet Punch is also completely reasonable, but also, you know, the Rocks are nice, let's just say. What else does it do? The Rocks. The main one is the Lando calc, because Lando is kind of a massive threat into my team. Earth Power, Focus Blast kind of hits everything except for my own Landorus, which, you know, Landorus versus Landorus, you know, we both kind of wall each other. That's kind of how that works. But, yeah, I wanted Rocks up early if I could. That's why Lando T is going to be my lead. If I get a favorable matchup, I'm just slinging up the Rocks. But if I don't, I can just U-turn out and find an opportunity with Hydreigon later, or with the Landorus itself to set up Rocks. Okay, this Keldeo set. I am Black Belt, and this is relevant for a few reasons, right? I wanted to boost the Vacuum Wave chip, or boost the Vacuum Wave power into Meowscarada, because actually unboosted Keldeo is not that powerful, and if the Meowscarada is healthy, or even like at 65%, it can just live a Vacuum Wave, and that didn't feel right. So just throwing on a Black Belt here not only makes the Meowscarada calc a lot more threatening, but also it does a very important role versus Ogerpon, which is Rocks plus Secret Sword plus Vacuum Wave is almost a guaranteed KO. Depends on his spread, of course, but in the real world, it should just be a KO if I'm able to catch that on the switch. And then Surf Terra Blast just kind of covers everything else pretty reasonably well. It is walled by the Jump Bluff, but I didn't think that was very likely to come. More so aimed at, you know, super effective coverage against Lantern, against Toxapex, against Monkey Dory, and then against Gholdengo. That's like a big one as well. So having super effective coverage against all of them, really valuable, right? Alright, and then my last Pokemon that I haven't gone over yet is Terapagos. This is Calm Mind Rapid Spin. Initially I was Rock Polish, but the Ogerpon and the Meowscarada can elect to Spike Stack. And while it does only hit 2 Pokemon, being my Scizor and my Keldeo, the other 4 are immune to spikes. I did want to have the option to remove, just because Scizor is my win condition. If I can remove 3 spikes, you know, then my Scizor coming in at full rather than 75 does make a pretty big difference for some calcs. Like for example, the Ogerpon Ivy Cudgel, I live from full, but after like 3 spikes and rocks maybe, like absolutely no chance. So that was nice. It also allows me to do things like get a little bit of chip, put things in Terra Starstorm range after the spin. That was a pretty important interaction versus stuff like Lando, into stuff like Ogerpon. But yeah, Calm Mind, Earth Power, just kind of standard stuff, allows me to muscle through Toxapex potentially with the combination of Calm Mind and Earth Power. But yeah, that's pretty much the team. And yeah, so let's get right into the game. Hello and welcome, Draft League fans. Oh my god, he did not bring what I expected. There's no Toxapex, there's a Jump Bluff instead. This is not good for my Keldeo set, which is Terra Ground 4 attacks, which is walled by Jump Bluff, but that's okay. And there's Comfy over the Monkey Dory. Okay, but then Ogerpon, Meowscarada like expected. Let's see. So I want to probably still lead with my Lando T. That was my plan going in. Let me just get all this set up here. But yeah, probably gonna be a Lando T lead. Let me think though. Interesting. Yeah, just gonna lead with Lando T. Let's go in. Oh, I have to tell him my Terra type, huh? It is Terra Ground. And he is Terra Flying on the jump bluff. Makes sense? Okay. So the idea with double Scarf here, I have Scarf Lando and Scarf Hydreigon. There's no great Dark Resist and there's no great Ground Resist, so that's the idea. Lando v Lando lead. I'm thinking I probably just want to... Let's see. I could trade Rocks here, but if he also goes for Rocks, then I reveal Scarf and I have to switch into a Focus Blast next turn, which is no fun. So I kind of want to U-turn, I think, but not sure. This is probably like the hardest situation for the lead. I think I am going to just... I'm gonna go for Rocks here. I want my Rocks up for my Scizor Calcs. It's really important. After Rocks, I kill Lando. Ogerpon is like a 2-hit KO after Rocks with Bullet Punch, stuff like that. Oh, he went for U-turn. That's so much better for me, I think. Because what's coming in to punish me? Not a whole lot, right? He knows I'm locked into Rocks right now, which is a little bit annoying. But what does he really have to punish? Like, I kind of have switch-ins for a lot of things. Like, Ogerpon is going to come in here, but I have my Vileplume specifically for this, so I'm going to go hard into my Vileplume. This is actually a funny set. It's Weather Ball Sunny Day, but I'm still max defense. This is so that I can actually do something back to the Gholdengo. We could see a U-turn here, could see a Zen Headbutt, we see a Spike go up, but I actually have like multiple boots on this team, so it's probably going to be fine. Right here, I am just going to go for a Sunny Day. The reason being, he can take this as a free Gholdengo, but I want the Sunny Day up to enable my Weather Ball to get really big chip on the Gholdengo. And since he doesn't have Toxapex, it's actually a little bit difficult for him to switch into this Pokemon. Goes for another Spike, this is fine. Like I said, multiple boots, guys. Not too worried about spikes going up. But Sunny Day here, and now he's like, oh, a little bit scared, huh? But since Ogerpon's just staying in, I'm probably just going to go for a Giga Drain. Not really much else to do here. Maybe the threat of Sludge Bomb will force a Terra on him. That would be nice, but you have to assume he's switching out here. But into what? I'm not really too sure. Gonna have to find out. Now, I am still max Fizdef, so he could still outspeed me here. I'm really only enough speed for the likely Gholdengo spreads. But, yeah. Another useful thing about Sunny Day is that it allows my Scizor to set up on the multiple water types he has, being the Ogerpon and then, you know, some stuff that he didn't bring. But the Ogerpon is the important one. Ivy Cudgel is not at 2-hit KO on my Scizor. But with the spikes going up, maybe I would have preferred to be boots on the Scizor rather than leftovers, which I have right now. All good though. Spikes U-turn. So he actually has to switch into a slow attack here. He's gonna think Sludge Bomb. He might go Gholdengo, but he might go Lando as well. Getting chip on Lando would be nice with a Giga Drain. Because I know he's thinking Sludge Bomb's coming out. Yeah, Landers comes in. Which I will be slower than, but it's fine. Oh, that's a good chip. Is that a crit? Not a crit, so he's just not bulky at all. So here I think I am going to pivot into my Hydreigon, because for him to KO me, he has to go for an Earth Power or a Psychic, and my Scarf Hydreigon should cover that, and I do kind of hide the fact that I'm Scarf, by being Scarflando lead, which was revealed initially. So I'm going to go this. He might think I'm Choppleberry or something, and he might click U-turn turn 2, in which case I'll pick it up with a Scarf Dark Pulse. Goes for a fly, actually. Interesting. I might want to switch here, because I'm faster than this right now. What comes in on a fly, though? I don't have a flying resist. So I think I just have to stay in and take it. What's the best move to lock into? Probably Dark Pulse, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna go for a Dark Pulse here. Show that I'm Scarf here, but he does have a Comfy in the back, which is probably fine. Oh my god, that does so much. Is that Choice Banded? Might be Choice Banded from that damage. But yeah, here, it's probably Choice Band. What am I saying? That's why there was no Rocks trade. So here, he can take the free Comfy. He doesn't want to sack this, so I might want to double out here. Into what, though? I think I'm just gonna Dark Pulse. It's not like I lack switch-ins to Comfy. Maybe not. Yeah, just gonna go for Dark Pulse here. It's safe. If I switch on another fly, yeah, exactly. He tried to catch me on the switch. So we're gonna actually KO the Landers, which is really nice for my Scarflando T. Although his Ogerpon did not Terra, so he's trying to preserve the Terra flying for his Jump Bluff, it seems. Which makes sense. I don't have a flying resist, as you can see by the Choice Banded fly Landers. So yeah, Comfy is gonna come in, but it's really not a big issue for me to switch in. Now, you could try to U-turn on Hazards, which is the main threat here, but do I want to take the chip on Scizor? I might just want to stay in and then use this as SD opportunity later. Am I okay with sacking this? I mean, Scarf Dark Pulse is a really good tool to have, and he doesn't have Rocks up when he spikes, so I'm not taking chip. I'm going to switch out here. And I'm just going to go into my... I'm gonna go Vileplume. I don't want to take chip on my Scizor. He could U-turn, but the big punish for my guy is gone unless he wants to go Jump Bluff and take Rocks. If he's Boots, then sure, whatever. That's more information to have. Does go for U-turn. Could get... actually, I don't have a Spec Spore. I have Chlorophyll. So sure, rack up a little bit of Rocks chip. Jump Bluff probably going to come in on me, if I had to guess. Nothing else really wants to take on this Vileplume 1v1. Although, I guess Gholdengo could come in because the sun is not up initially. And yeah, the Gholdengo is going to come in. Now here, I have a few options. I could burn the Terra Shell. Although I might need that for the Jump Bluff later if it is Swords Dance. So definitely switching here though. This is a valuable Pokemon to have. And what's coming in on this Gholdengo? My Hydreigon's already chipped. But, okay, I think I might just go Keldeo here. Because Make It Rain is possible, and my set is actually walled by Jump Bluff anyway, so I may as well get the use out of it now. I really thought he would bring Toxapex instead of Jump Bluff. That's why I'm Terra Ground. It kind of covers more of the team, but this team is like triple water, and they're all like different resists to Keldeo, so it's hard to pick one Terra Blast typing. So Keldeo is going to come in here on presumed Make It Rain. There we go, got that play correct. That does a lot of damage. That looks like it's Specs, or that's a critical hit. And that's going to be Specs Gholdengo. Makes sense, but also really good to know. Now, what do I want to click here? Real talk, it is probably just... Is it a Terra Blast Ground here? Or do I predict the switch? Or I could just go for a safe Surf, but then Ogerpon might want to come in. So what's his idea? He doesn't want to go Jump Bluff because that's like his offensive guy, right? He's saving Terra for it, so I assume it's like Bandit or something. He also feeling like Icy Wind. He wants to save this Gholdengo for sure, I think. I showed Terra Ground with preview. I'm gonna Secret Sword here. I think he's switching to Ogerpon or Comfy. Please be an Ogre Pawn. This would be such a big chip. Yes, okay. This is why we're black belt. Rocks plus Secret Sword plus Vacuum Wave is actually gonna KO this thing. Unless it's like Fizz Def for some reason. But no, that's definitely in range of Vac Wave. I'm just gonna go for a Vac Wave immediately. He might be trying to set up on this with his Jump Bluff, but that's fine with me. Yeah, he doesn't even Terra. But Jump Bluff, I'm probably just gonna stay in and attack it, honestly. Prevent the setup. Because if I get any chip on it, my Terrapagos is gonna kill, my Scizor is gonna kill. Could be Sleep Powder, that's something to note. It could be. Could be scary if he like connects. But we'll cross that road when we get there. The Ogre Pawn is dead. See, Comfy took rocks, I think. Gholdengo took rocks. Meowscarada has not come in. Jump Bluff has not come in. For Monkey Dory, this is the Jump Bluff. Yes, we see Boots. We do not see Boots. So I am probably just going to stay in here and surf. I don't really have a switch in. Or do I Vacuum Wave for some chip? Let me run a calc here. So Scizor, it's only relevant if my Scizor Bullet Punch does a lot of damage to him. Jump Bluff, not level 50. It defaults to 50 because that's the only place people use Jump Bluff. Okay, Bullet Punch. If he's offensive, let me see. It does like 64 min, so I am just gonna Vac Wave actually. With my Black Belt, it should put it in range of Bullet Punch if it is offensive. Goes for a Cotton Guard. Ooh. This is probably fine though. I'm just going to go for a Surf now. So +3 defense. It is going to be bulky then. So it doesn't get away to boost its special defense though. So Terrapagos should be able to handle this in a 1v1. Now my question is, do I spin on this? And do I actually just go Hydreigon maybe? Maybe Hydreigon's better here. Because I mean, he has a Comfy to switch in, but I switch into Comfy anyways, it's not a big deal. I don't know. I think I just go Hydreigon, yeah. This is fine. Then Hydreigon, I am Scarf Modest. So even if he's max HP, Draco's doing 67 min, so I'm just gonna click Draco here. If he switches to Comfy, then he switches to Comfy. I can deal with that, it's really no problem. And he's taking even more rocks, and then next time this comes in, it's gonna be in Bullet Punch range. So I'm just gonna Draco here. He swaps into Comfy, makes sense. If he goes Gholdengo, this could be a problem, but Comfy, not really too big of an issue. Alright. More rocks chip is fine. I think I'm just gonna go into my Vileplume. I've kind of, I'm gonna allow the Gholdengo in on the U-turn, but that's fine. Actually, hold up. He's going to U-turn here, right? Do I just go Lando instead? That's a question. I'm not fearing like Calm Mind or anything. I will always have the Scizor in the back. Yeah, I'm just gonna go Lando. What can he do to punish me? Maybe we'll find out this turn, but I think it's gonna be fine. U-turn is so likely here. Predicting my Vileplume, trying to get in that Specs Gholdengo. So now here I get, yeah, perfect. U-turn. And now what's gonna come in? I have Earthquake, I have U-turn, I have Stone Edge, I have a move for everything. So if he's Scarf Meowscarada, he'll go to it now. If not, he might just go to it anyways. Meowscarada does come in, but at this point, let me run a calc with my Scizor versus Gholdengo. Because if my Scizor lives a Shadow Ball after hazards, +1 Shadow Ball, that does so much damage. Oh my god. It does 70 to 83, but I will live after the hazards chip right now. So what I'm thinking is, if he is Scarf Meowscarada and goes for a triple axle, I could potentially Sword Stance on that. But the thing is, Gholdengo will be faster. But does he stay in? to triple axle my thing? Probably not. I'm just going to go for a U-turn here, I think. If he's not Scarf, then he'll die. He is Scarf. He could dodge. He could miss his triple axle, which would be nice, but no, my Lando does go down, which is a little unfortunate. I kind of wanted that thing for the Gholdengo, but I still have my Hydreigon to outspeed and Dark Pulse it if I need to. And this is going to be my Scizor SD opportunity. So yeah, we're just going to go Scizor. We're going to SD. And yeah, if he goes hard Gholdengo, I will live a Shadow Ball and KO with Knock, and then I think Bullet Punch sweeps from that point. But yeah, we're just going to Swords Dance here. It reveals to be Scarf Meowscarada. This is my setup fodder. Hopefully he switches hard to Gholdengo. That would be awesome. If he stays in, that's fine too. He does switch. So Scizor gets +2. Or Monkey Dory, that's going to be the jump left. So it gives me more leftovers. Nice. And obviously Bullet Punch is going to KO this. I'm going to click Bullet Punch. Alright, so Scizor is in the cut right now. We're going to go for a Bullet Punch, and this will very die. Now the question is, Gholdengo. He's offensive, so... Oh, he goes for a Terra, right? I think no reason not to at this point, but it will die to Bullet Punch, guaranteed. This thing doesn't have, like, Prankster, Encore, or anything like that. It has Chlorophyll. So I will just die to my Bullet Punch. Maybe get Rocky Helmet Chip at best. Do you see Rocky Helmet? I don't know if that plays after the faint animation or not. And my leftovers proc. So now the only thing I'm worried about really is like a trick from Gholdengo, but I think I'll be okay. Yeah, this thing comes in. Even Specs Shadow Ball is not KOing me, right? Does 83 max, which is going to be 283 points of HP. I'm just going to go for a knockoff here. No reason not to. If he tricks me, then cool. If he crits me, then unlucky, right? But this is my win path. And I live. Alright, so this should be a Scizor sweep. +2 KOs both of the remaining 2, and leftovers puts me out of range of Draining Kiss. Yep, it was Specs. I mean, of course it was. You saw how much damage that did. But yeah, it's just going to be a Bullet Punch twice, and that should wrap up the game. He only has Meowscarada and Comfy left. I'm just going to double check the Comfy calcs, but it's defensive Comfy anyways, right? So unfortunately, we weren't able to get a bunch of KOs with Keldeo this week. I mean, if you look at his team, it's very Keldeo. It's very anti-Keldeo, right? He brought Jumpluff, Comfy. Like, if anything, you could say Keldeo forced him to bring very bad Pokemon against me, which, hey, that's value itself. And it allowed for my Scizor to have, you know, even better setup opportunities. Like, there could have been a Toxapex, which maybe could, in theory, haze Rocky Helmet me down, which it doesn't actually beat me 1v1. That's the crazy thing about Scizor versus Toxapex this gen. Dual Wing Beat with Technician, it does like 70%. Like, he can't really stall me out. But it also means there's no, like, Lantern. You know, Lantern was on his team. Could have been a decent bringing into this Scizor set, but yeah, Draining Kiss from max special attack does like 15, you know. He goes into this, it could be Sucker Punch. Am I scared of that? He revealed Scarf already. There's no way it's Sucker Punch, right? Let me just double check the actual matchup. So he wants Triple Axle. He's going to want Knockoff, obviously. Going to want U-Turn because it's Scarf. And then the last one is just going to be Flower Trick or Play Rough. One of the two. So there's no way he fits Sucker Punch. I'm just going to Bullet Punch. If he is Sucker, then cool. But yeah, obviously he's not. Critical hit. I'm very sorry for that crit. Don't think it mattered though. This is max attack, Adamant Scizor. And now Comfy's going to come in and I'm just going to Bullet Punch again. And that's going to be the game. So GG to my opponent, A12. He does have a Monkey Dory on the roster, and I did a famous hate watch of Monkey Dory replays, so he really wanted to prove me wrong, but here he didn't even bring the Monkey Dory. And if he did, it would have just been another Scizor setup fodder. So yeah, Scizor is just going to win this one with a Bullet Punch. Nothing he can do. And yeah, Training Kiss, you're going to see it bounce off. Wait, is that a crit? Oh, he's Specs. Damn. But I guess he went in the wrong order because I got leftovers, allowed me to live that. But wow, Specs Comfy. Interesting. Yeah, I would have been fine versus that anyways. The main fear I had was like Calm Mind. If that actually KO'd me with Specs Draining Kiss, then I would have just gone into my Terapagos, and then just Starstorm cleans up the game at that point. So GG to my opponent. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.